1991, I think. I had bad diarrhea. I mean, bad. For like 5 days. Completely liquid. Nothing. Very little solid at all came out of me. And I didn't have health insurance at the time. I was just working as a pizza delivery driver. And so I didn't know any the wiser, any better than to just go to the emergency room and say, hey, I'm sick, something's wrong. Obviously, if you have a family doctor, or if you just pick a doctor out of the phone book and go to the doctor as a new patient, whatever, as a doctor's visit, it's cheaper. Anything in the emergency room is specialized. It's going to cost you a little more. They're going to try to do everything faster, everything stat. That's what stat's supposed to mean, quickly. And so one of the doctors looks me over, and then he goes and confers with another doctor, and then I think maybe a third or fourth doctor even came in and conferred with him. All the while they were sending off blood samples and getting those tests, and somebody had me go to x-ray. They x-rayed me. And my not knowing any better, all of that is adding up. Now, at one point or another, I told him, I said, look, I just need some advice, maybe some medicine, if you got something that'll help counter this, and I can be on my way. And I kept trying to abbreviate everything they were doing, and I believe that at least partially the doctors and staff of the emergency room were trying to do their best to figure out what was wrong and make sure that nothing more serious was wrong. But by the end of my stay there, which was several hours, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 hours, a doctor came up to me, and after he had all the results back from the blood lab and looked the x-ray over and conferred with other doctors, he came over and talked to me and said, look, we don't see anything particularly wrong. Your abdomen may have some blockage, it may be something there, but we didn't see anything particular to be concerned about. Why don't you get some Imodium AD and start taking that. If that doesn't help slow you down a little bit in the next couple of days, get back in touch with us. So I got home and I'm thinking, well, that was a lot of nothing. A whole lot of waiting around, and finally he told me something he could have told me over the phone. I finally started to return back to a normal regularity, a normal cycle. Now, while I was at the emergency room, they'd asked about insurance, and I told them I didn't have any. And they said, well, you may qualify for some financial assistance. We'll have a financial advisor talk to you and get some information. And sure enough, I qualified to pay a reduced rate of, I think, 10%. A few weeks later, after the emergency room visit, I get a bill, an itemized bill. It's got x-ray and doctor conferral and blood test stat and all this itemized on it. Total was $700. $700. Of which I would only pay $70, 10%. I thought, well, I can pay that. But for a doctor to give me the advice, take some over-the-counter medication, never prescribed anything, for what turned out to be a relatively simple case of diarrhea. No other serious problems, no long-term problems that I'm aware of or anything else ever came of it. The x-rays and the medicine and everything else that came from the emergency room visit, for all I know, pretty much didn't show or help any other kind of diagnosis or any other kind of problems. And so just for the one event, it was $700 to tell me I've got diarrhea and to take Imodium AD, and if it doesn't work out in a few days, come back. Then yesterday I was talking to a co-worker at the job I'm on now, and she was talking about how her son had gotten hurt, and they had ended up going to emergency room. And I don't know, they saw 2 or 3 doctors and had blood tests and who knows what all else. They determined that he needed stitches in his hand, and so they stitched him up and then sent them on their way with a bill for $600. There should be a smart way to handle those medical situations without it costing hundreds of dollars. Same way with cars these days, but don't get me started on car mechanics and parts and all of that crap. Shouldn't cost more than a couple $100. Tops. We need to fix the medical industry. It's broken. It was better for the hospital that treated me to run up a bill of $700, so that then what happens is they turn that into the state and say, hey, look, we had this poor guy without insurance come in and run up a bill of $700, and he could only afford to pay us $70, 10% of that. Can you pay some of the rest of the $700? And then that way they got a payday. They got probably, I don't know, $300-400 out of the $700, if not the whole $700. I mean, I don't know if they reduce it and say, okay, pay what you can on all these people we got coming in off the streets that ain't got medical insurance. And we'll eat some of it, and you eat some of it, and everybody gets a payday. But $700 is just ridiculous, and $600 for 5 or 10 stitches in the hand is ridiculous. It's crazy. We shouldn't be letting our medical industry charge us that kind of crap for crap that they should know better. Or we could do ourselves. Let's start our own medical industry. You do it yourself. We can host it through web services and have do it yourself. Anybody that doesn't have medical insurance, or anybody that has it, come to us first. If you got a problem, we'll give you advice. If you got a problem, we'll tell you how you can fix it yourself. We'll tell you how to set a bone and make a cast and splint a broken bone or whatever, and stitch some stitches and spray a little Bactine on it, a little iodine. Take some Imodium AD and call me in the morning. Shouldn't be hundreds of dollars for nothing. This was not sponsored by Obama. And stop blaming him for trying to get you to talk about something that you know is broke. Instead, start talking about ways you can fix it. Thank you.